What up, what up, what up? We are live. What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic weekend. Let me make sure we are good to go on this side right here. Mute myself there. Okay, cool. Sorry. I'm trying to wake myself up here. I took a little bit of a nap after doing a little bit of work this morning. All over the place. We are switching things up a little bit. I wanted to try and do a I'm playing around with basically the Saturday times of when we do these live streams, mainly just because I do think that Saturdays is going to be a weird time for some people because there's going to be people if I do them in the morning time, I feel like I'm going to be doing it at a time where everyone who is on their fitness game is going to be working out, right? So I want to try and do this at a time where people are not necessarily, going out and being active on a Saturday, but it's a little bit of a downtime. This is the time most people are going to be on their phones. So we're going to try this out, see how it does. But also, hopefully today, I can convince some of you guys to put down the bottle for today. Mainly because, listen, I'm not dumb. I used to be a pretty heavy drinker. I actually was known in my friend group for being very, very able to put down some brews. Very much so. Like, literally, I used to be like the human trash can for this. Any beer that anyone didn't like at a party, I would be drinking it, okay? Just to get it down. Like, I was that kind of guy. And now, this is not going to be like, I want to make a very clear, point right now. This is not going to be one of those things where, and let me move this out of my face. One of those things where I'm just going to be like anti-alcohol all the way. Because that's just, I'm not about that either. I think vices have their right in certain aspects of things. But it's very obvious that alcohol is one of those that it is so common. There are a lot of everyone out here knows someone that probably drinks too much. Okay, everyone probably does. And so we need to be very aware of that, especially if your goal is to get into a fitness journey. Let me close these blinds. There we go. That looks a little better. Mainly because it's going to drastically affect your fitness journey way more than you would think. I know I always like to do a live stream about this every couple months because it's something that people downplay because either they don't have the full knowledge of things, they don't understand just how bad alcohol is for you. Quite literally, it is one of the worst substances you can put in your body, guys. It just is. That's just a fact. We know that. We know that it's worse for you than most other drugs that are illegal, right? And that's not just like me saying that. It's just very clear based on the evidence of this. So we need to make sure you guys understand this before you just go out there and you just put this in your body willy-nilly, right? Again, I'm not against anything. I'm not against anything being necessarily demonized. I think that's a bad way of looking at things because that doesn't allow you to use things as tools, right? Like, for a great example, this was actually going to be something I was going to post earlier today. I just didn't have the time to go ahead and do it. But I was going to write something down along the lines of, just like someone can use a sword to protect somebody, that same sword is used to kill somebody, right? So, it is not a matter of, something being necessarily good or bad. It's about how you use these things, right? And so that's something that needs to be said right off the bat. I don't want you guys thinking I'm demonizing anything. I have my own vices, right? Alcohol is not one of them. I'll tell you that right now. One of the main things is what we're going to be talking about today. But that being said, it's not like alcohol is one of those things that it can be, just a little bit of it being in your life is going to keep you from getting some savage results, right? I need you guys to understand that is not what this is going to be about. But what this is going to be about is going to be helping you guys understand why you need to absolutely make sure this is moderated, right? It's like food, right? Like, we track our calories because we need to make sure that our food intake is moderated. You have to do the same thing with alcohol. And there are a lot of people out there that are overdoing it because you're not viewing it as something dangerous. And it is absolutely dangerous, okay? So let's get into this. Let me get a sip of water. Not water, energy drink. You know what I meant. Let's get into it. So here's the science, guys. First things first, alcohol in itself actually has more calories than carbs. A lot of people don't know that. There's actually 4 things that have calories in it: carbs, proteins, fat, and alcohol. Alcohol has its own subset of calories. The way it kind of plays down is it's going to be, just to kind of give you guys a refresh, and this is not like the biggest thing. The reason I'm even bringing this up is there's people out there that'll take shots instead of doing beers or whatever the case may be, or mixed drinks or anything. But the reality is that's not saving you here, okay? I'm just letting you guys know. Because again, if you don't know this and you go out there and you start trying to do a calorie deficit, you start going to the gym, but you're drinking 3 to 4 days out of the week, you're not going to see the best results. I'm just going to be straight up with you. This is not even a big part of that part, the reason that's the case, right? So you guys need to critically understand this. And this is, I mean, this is why I just don't drink at all. I mean, it's not even just because of the science behind it. It's because of the way it makes me feel the next day. And I work out every single day, guys. Like, it doesn't feel good. It does not feel good in the slightest. It dehydrates you. There's so many things we're going to go over. But that being said, it's something you need to be absolutely critically aware of, because it'll keep you from building muscle. It'll keep you from burning fat. The stuff we'll get into. But that being said, guys, like if we were talking about moonshine, like some of the most purest form alcohol, even in just a shot of that, you're going to see anywhere between 70, you'll see a lot higher calories actually than that. Anywhere between 70 to 150 calories in just 1 2-ounce shot. Why? Because it has more calories than even carbs do, guys. It has more calories than sugar does. It's pretty close to fat. There's 4 calories per gram in carbs. There's 4 calories per gram in protein. There's 9 calories per gram of fat, and there's 7 calories per gram of alcohol. Just to put that in perspective for you guys, okay? This is like taking when we say you're taking a shot, it's pretty close to saying you're taking a shot of actually it might be even more calories. Let me look this up. Of olive oil. Like if you were to take, let's just do a little experiment real quick. 2 ounces of olive oil calories. Okay, no. 500 calories in 2 ounces of olive oil. That's not that crazy. But just thinking about that. Now, I want you to put in this perspective. Obviously, this is going to be more calories, right? The olive oil is going to have more calories. In 2 ounces of olive oil, there's about 500 calories. Here's what I want you guys to understand. If I were to look up 2 ounces of pure moonshine in calories, of course, it's going to depend. This is where I'm trying to find the highest proof. So, like, if we're talking 150 proof, right? It is going to depend on the proof. And this is actually good that I pulled this up, because this is going to show you just how much the alcohol, like, changes how many calories is in this. But in 80 proof moonshine, and this is for 2 ounce shot. We're talking a shot, okay? In 80 proof, anything, and I guess I could say this, anything that's this, it doesn't have to be moonshine, anything that's this proof alcohol, because the proof of alcohol tells you how much alcohol, like what percentage of alcohol it is, basically, right? So 80 proof is 40% alcohol, 100 proof is 50% alcohol, 120 proof 60% alcohol, you get it, right? But that being said, here's where the crazy part is. For 80 proof of liquor, anything 80 proof, which is most vodka or anything like that, you're going to get 120 calories for isn't that crazy? 128 calories for a 2 ounce shot. Okay? A lot of y'all probably didn't even realize, I was even underestimating that. I was out here telling you guys it's going to be like 70 calories per shot. It is 130 calories, 128 specifically. Okay? In 100 proof, it's 165 calories. In 120 proof, it's 192 calories. In 150 proof, it's 240 calories. Okay, we're talking a 2 ounce, like that much, right? I actually have a shot glass. I usually use it to take my methylene blue. I don't have it on me, but I could visually show. It's only about that big, right? It's not very big. It's not that much. If we're talking about we're talking about that much, maybe. Hold on. This is 12 ounces. So we're talking like that much. You guys see what I'm talking about here? 80 proof, 2 ounce shot, 130 calories, okay? So the reason I bring that up is because there's so many, I see this a lot with the ladies, okay? I see this a lot with the ladies. They'll take away mixed drinks and just do shots. And they think that it's going to make them healthier. It is not, okay? And it's not even because of this. It's not even because of how many calories are in it. But I want you guys to understand that you're not really taking that many calories away. Okay, if you were to take away, like, let's say you're making, like, just a basic, like, I don't know, like a fruit juice cocktail or something like that. Let's say you take the juice out, you're only at most taking, like, maybe 80 calories out of it. Okay, so, like, we're literally talking, like, a 200-calorie mixed drink. If you're only drinking the alcohol in it, you're still getting 100, out of 200 calories, you're still getting 130 calories. Okay, you're not taking that much out. And most of you guys are taking multiples of those down. Typically, when you take that out, it typically means you have more room for the liquor instead. Okay, listen. The excuse that people make when it comes down to this, it doesn't change things. We got to make sure you guys understand that part. Okay, so that's just the calorie part. That's not even the main reason I don't do it. Like, at the end of the day, if I have the calories for it, I would still do it if it wasn't for this, okay, for these next two aspects. The big thing is that your body is going to prioritize metabolizing alcohol over building muscle and burning fat. Why? Because your body interprets the alcohol as poison. And a lot of this process happens through your kidneys. Guess what else happens through your kidneys? The process called protein synthesis, which is the process that takes the protein that you eat and turns it into muscle mass. Which means if you have any alcohol in your system, if you're someone who drinks 3 or 4 times out of the week, you are making it extremely hard for your body to replace. It doesn't matter how much protein you eat. It doesn't matter how good you bit, how often you're going to the gym. You are making it extremely difficult for your body to recover the way it needs to. Okay? This is huge. This is now, it's obviously our bodies are designed to survive. So it doesn't make it to the point where it's necessarily just going to straight up kill you, yet it can, right? It depends on the person, the way this is going to affect, and it depends on how much you're drinking, right? It's not like we're talking like the person who's drinking 4 times a week, who's drinking 1 glass compared to a person who's drinking 4 times a week, same amount of days, but is drinking like 6, it's not the same, right? So it doesn't matter how much, it does matter the frequency. There are things that matter here, but like at the end of the day, the big thing you got to understand is it doesn't matter what size of person you are. It doesn't matter how much. What we understand that is if you do any amount, even just 1 glass of wine, that it's going to give you some kind of effect like this. So any amount is going to put you on a lower spectrum, which means if you're drinking on any amount, you are not prioritizing your fitness, okay? This is just the reality. It is. Now, I give people some slack for like maybe once, maybe twice a week, and I'm really pushing the button with twice a week, guys. And we're talking like maybe a glass of wine, maybe a singular glass. Anything more than that, guys, I can tell you right now, you need to hear me say this. If you are doing anything more than that, you are not prioritizing your fitness. You're prioritizing alcohol over fitness, because I'm telling you right now, you are not, it's very clear, you are not getting optimized results. It's just very, 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 extremely freaking very clear. We have so much research on this. It is so fucking evident. It doesn't matter how much it is. It doesn't matter if it's a glass, right? If you're doing more than 1 to twice a week, it is absolutely not helping you get closer to your goals, which means you are not prioritizing your goals if you are doing that, which means that you are not less likely to get there. Remember how serious you have to take this, guys. It is literally twice as hard to get fitness results and keep fitness results than it is to become a millionaire in this country. And again, if you didn't see the live stream where I talked about this, go talk. I brought up statistics for that too. Like, I bring receipts for this shit, guys. This is not just stuff I throw out there, okay? I have receipts ready to go to throw into the comments anytime anyone wants to debate me about me with this stuff. Like, I'm ready to go. I've done live streams on this topic specifically for years at this point. I know this to be the case. If you are doing any amount of drinking, it doesn't matter how much. Again, like, we know for a fact that even a glass will affect you this way. Even a glass of beer, wine, whatever the case may be, your body gets that in its system and it will interpret that as alcohol. There's nothing I can say to take that away. And I say it like this because I know that people are going to hear that and they go, no, there's no way. That's on. There's got to be another way. No, there's not. There's not. Okay, at a certain point, guys, you got to understand morality for what it is and not just sit there and let your emotions try and dictate what reality is. This is what gets people in the wrong lane. This is what gets people going in the wrong direction. This is what gets people spinning their wheels and getting absolutely fucking nowhere, guys. It's just the reality of how the world works. And you can either listen to that and actually go forward, or you can stay set behind, guys. But that's the reality of the situation. Now, for people who are... I'm not saying that you can't get results, if you're drinking any certain amount like that. But you guys got to understand, you cannot tell me you are prioritizing your fitness if you are drinking that often. You can't. Because you straight up would not be drinking that. You just wouldn't. Okay, now, there are times where okay, social events, whatever the case may be, but it doesn't matter. You can still say no and drink water. Like, it doesn't matter. It does not matter, right? Because at the end of the day, if you are prioritizing your fitness, you are not going to make this decision ever, right? And so the reality here, guys, is what I need you guys to understand. This is going to be one of those things where you have to have a standard for this stuff, right? Because otherwise it is, I'll tell you exactly what happens. Anytime you get liquor in your body, it's going to disrupt that protein synthesis reaction, and it's going to make it hard for your body to recover from workouts or even recover from any kind of activity you do throughout the day at all. It doesn't even have to be workouts. This is how your body recovers from day-to-day movement, right? The reason you're able to build muscle in the first place is because that is required for survival. And so you are interrupting this process. You guys see what I mean? And there'll be the argument, well, like, yeah, but people, you know, back 2,000 years ago, like, people drank wine, like children drank wine all the time. Like, it's how they survived. Yeah, because they didn't have water. Okay, that's the only way they could hydrate themselves, guys, because there's bacteria can't grow in that stuff. Not in the same way that it's going to kill you. That is how they would hydrate themselves. That doesn't mean that's better. It's survival versus thriving. Okay, like, don't put yourself back in that state. That's not going to make you see progress. Guys, you don't get to have a good body and be fit and be optimized and be athletic and be a fucking badass by surviving. You just don't. You just don't. You don't get the same freaking, you can't recover the same way. You can't optimize training because you're surviving. Like, guys, you can't be in that survival state. And that's where a lot of people get stuck, because they think that going through struggle means the same thing as getting results. And that is not the case. This is where we have to use our brain. Okay. It's just the reality of how this works. But you also got to understand, guys, that this is just killing your liver. And if your liver and your kidneys are huge, a huge part of the whole process of you being able to build muscle and burn body fat. The more muscle you have, the less body fat you're going to have, because that is your entire metabolism. Your skeletal muscle is the only way you can directly increase your metabolism. And you affect that every single time you drink. Now, again, does this mean, oh my God, never drink ever? No. Okay, guys, special occasions, I will do it. But what I'll tell you right now is that if you're someone who's drinking more than like I'm going to say more than once a week is just the limit. And it does not matter how much. Okay, it's actually, it's one of those things that a lot of people aren't really getting, that, like, I'll argue this. I would argue it's worse for you to drink spread out throughout the week than to drink all at once. Now, again, obviously it depends on how much you're drinking, right? But, like, guys, it's the fact that it's in your system for longer that's making this harder for your body. Right? Like, and even then, guys, like, we all know that a bender is not going to be something you need to be doing at all during this process. Guys, again, this is what I mean when I say you got to prioritize your shit. That means this comes first no matter what. No matter fucking what. Okay? Even once a week, it makes me feel gross even saying that, guys, because even then, the only reason I would say that is for your comfort. Not because that's going to help you get results faster. So why the fuck would I even need to say that? Right? The only reason that makes me even say once a week is because I've seen people who are very fucking fit who can make that happen with once a week. That you can make that happen with once a week. It is possible. I've seen it, right? But that being said, it's not doing anyone any favors. And those people are only like that because the other 6 days out of the week, they are on point no matter what. And I promise you are not them. I promise you are not those people. Why? I would hear about you, dude. I'd be seeing more about you because I am one of those people. Okay? I surround myself with those kinds of people. You are not one of those people, dude. You're not. And so if you are not that kind of person who is, even on that day you're doing a bender, you had already gotten a 2-hour workout in. Like, if you're not that kind of person, guess what, dude? You're not that kind of person. Okay? So we got to stop with the whole alcohol. We got to. Okay? Even with the once a week, guys, you're not doing yourself any favors. Right now, I like, another reason I want to put it in there is I don't want to take it out of someone because it's ingrained in lifestyle, and I don't want to completely take that away from people. But I'm going to be honest with you, it would be better if you did. You're not missing out on it. You're getting yourself around stuff that's not helping you in any way, shape, or form. That's not prioritizing your fitness. Right now, that being said, I do think it's important to experience the world too. And I think it's important to experience certain things. And that's why another reason why I leave that little bit in there. But like, guys, you got to understand it is that bad. It is that bad. And I need you guys to understand that even just a couple times out of the week, it will affect things. It will affect recovery. It affects your sleep. Like there's so many, I've done so many live streams explaining on what it does. I just need you guys, none of that matters right now. What you need to understand is that if you really prioritize your fitness, this is not even going to be on your fucking radar. It should not be on your radar. Anytime your friends say, hey, let's go get a glass of wine, you can go with them, but you're going to go ahead and drink some water, right? That's someone who prioritizes this shit. We have to make sure you are thinking this way or you will not see progress, because that's the reality. It's not just, for me, it's not even just about like the effects of the drinking. It's the standard you're breaking to make it happen. Why? For fucking what? For one night to have one drink that's not even going to make you drunk? Why? To go get drunk, and the reason I say this right now, guys, if you have plans on getting drunk, I'm telling you right now, it's one thing if it's been a month or so. It's another thing if it's every fucking week. And why do I have to sit here and say, oh, you get once a week to do that? That's stupid. Even me sitting here saying that sounds stupid. But I say that again. I have to say that because I just know that it is possible. Why? Because I was 20 once, right? And I was also ripped, right? The picture you guys see on the screen, Facebook people, you won't be able to see this. Instagram and YouTube people, the picture you see on the screen, that's me drinking, getting drunk probably, honestly, once every month. That's what that takes. And I'm not even talking, drinking at all. Once a month, maybe. Just so you guys can understand. And some of you guys think that it's just going to fall in your fucking lap. You don't understand. Getting the results you guys see on the screen right there, any amount of visible abs like that, 1% of the population, maybe 2% of the population gets that. 10% of American households are millionaires. It is significantly more likely you're going to become a millionaire than ever look like that. And you think you're going to be able to think about getting drunk and get those kind of results. You're crazy. You don't understand how hard this is, dude. You need to grasp that. Again, even just getting results and keeping results for a lifetime. That's 5% of people. 10% of people in America have a chance of becoming millionaires. You are twice as likely to becoming a millionaire than even getting and keeping fitness results. You need to understand how serious you have to take this. This is not going to fall into your lap. And you also need to understand how much your fitness and health is going to play into aspects in every single part of your life. Right? We need to make sure, if you're thinking of, oh, I want to go get drunk, you don't care about this like I care about this. You don't care about fitness the way you need to care about it to get the results you're dreaming about. Right? It's not going to be that easy. You've got to be disciplined as fuck. You got to be willing to show up when you don't feel like showing up. And I'm telling you right now, if you're thinking about, oh, but I want to drink with my friends, buddy, sorry, you don't get both. Okay. Now, that being said, I say that again, it's the reason I'm saying it like this is because it's not that can't happen. It's not that that's not a thing. It's it's the way you're thinking about it in your mind that's so freaking important. Like, what is prioritization here, right? What are you prioritizing more, fitness or this? And as long as fitness comes first, it's not like that stuff can't come in. But like, God, the reason I have to say it like that is because a majority of you guys watching this right now do not have that kind of relationship with fitness or with alcohol. You do not. It's the reason you struggle with it. It's the reason why some of you guys watch me is you're trying to figure out what's the secret. That's part of the secret is the mindset and relationship you have with this stuff. And you got to understand, the reason this is not something I struggle with personally is because I just don't even do it, right? And it mainly has to do with, I think for a lot of people who work out on a very large, like high frequency, which is, again, required to get results, right? You'll notice even just drinking just like a little bit, you'll feel that the next day and it's not worth it. When you're on point with your nutrition and you're working out and you're feeling good and you're getting results, like, and you have even just like, and this is another reason why I do think it is important to have that allowance in there. But you go and get drunk or even have a cheat day where you go a little bit too far off the wall, the next day you feel like shit. You don't feel good. And the reality is, for a lot of you guys who are drinking so regularly like that, you've been doing it so long, you don't realize how bad it actually makes you feel compared to actually like all this other stuff. Drinking all your water, making sure you're tracking your calories, showing up for your workouts, like stretching, for the love of God. Like, you feel amazing. But the reality for a lot of people is they don't know what that feels like because they've been drinking for so long. Or they've been dehydrated for so long, or they've been so out of shape for so long, you don't understand how green and how luscious the grass is on the other side, and it is beautiful. Speaking from someone who's been on both sides, it is 1,000 times better. You don't have so many depressive days. You don't have so many anxious days because you've dealt with that demon. But the problem is a lot of you guys aren't willing to go into that fire. You have to. It's not a choice. You either do it or you continue to live the way life is now. And a lot of you guys watch videos and live streams like this because you're sick and tired of that. You have to make that choice. This is why I did that live stream about not sitting on the fence with your life. You cannot sit on the fence. You have to make a decision or the choice will be made for you. If you do not choose to take an action towards your fitness, the decision will be made for you. You will probably be in a wheelchair by the age of 65. And I'm not playing. I see it all the time. Who do you think gets the phone calls for that? Me. Hey, can you help me? I am out of shape and I'm older. How do I get past this point? That's a lot of the things where I'll get on a phone call with people and I have to help them with that kind of stuff because it is a real thing. It is not something that just disappears when you don't think about it. It is a threat that is there at all times. It's just really easy to ignore it when you're boozing all the time. Okay? So guys, I hope a lot of you guys are watching this right now. Maybe some of you guys were getting ready to go out and drink because of some football games they're going to be playing or whatever the case may be. I don't care. Right? Hopefully somebody sees this and decides, okay, maybe I'm not going to just get blackout drunk. Maybe I'll just have a few beers. Okay, maybe I'm not going to drink at all. Maybe I'm just going to have some water. Right? Maybe I'm going to go hit a fucking workout before I even go out tonight. This is stuff that is prioritizing this process over the alcohol. That has to be, that's the main message I want to get from this live stream. Again, I don't want people to think I'm demonizing alcohol, because I guarantee you guys, there's going to come a point in my life, probably before the end of this year, where I want to go drink with my buddies just a little bit, have a beer or two. That's fine. What I'm telling you right now is that if this alcohol is if someone offers you a night to go drinking or a night to go get wine or a night to go get beers or whatever the case may be, and you don't immediately think how it's going to affect your fitness game, you are not prioritizing the fitness game. And you are not going to optimize your results. It is not going to happen that way. Make sure you guys understand that. I love you guys. I will see you guys on Tuesday for the next live stream. Sorry about no live stream on Thursday. I just needed to take care of some stuff, which you guys will actually be seeing fairly soon. We're going to see. I'll tell you guys about it later. I don't want to drop too much information, but I did get some stuff done that I think is going to be really cool for the page. But that being said, I'll see you guys on Tuesday. You guys can check it out then. Peace out.